So if we were to use leverage, for example, like 5x leverage, we would also
Sure.
be
Let's check.
purchasing more
Good point.
puts.
You're right. Let's check this out. Let's go right to the leverage. So when you're talking leverage, it means that how much money do you actually need to buy Bitcoin? How much money what's the minimum amount of money is required to buy Bitcoin by Questrade? So there's a website. Suggest you download it. What's that website? It's an app. It's a it's a PC app. Okay. The name of it is this thing. Questrade Edge. Please download it whenever you have time. Okay,
Okay.
because I'll show you how to use it.
All right.
So if I put the symbol in here, IBIT, it's going to tell you the margin loan rate. Margin loan rate. What does that mean? Margin loan rate means you're borrowing on margin. Margin is a big fancy word where Questrade is kind of like a bank. They're gonna lend you money and they're gonna use your shares as collateral. Banks like to have collateral, in case you run away. You have something to sell to get your money back. Collateral, security, that thing. So it says here 50%. Long margin. Long means when you buy something, you're long. Short means when you short something, when you're short. So people want to buy something for it to go up. They use this rate. People are shorting. We also short, just so you know. Traders do short, just so you know, especially futures traders, very comfortable both being long and short. Okay, because they just predict price direction up or down. Very unlike stock traders where we just always long all the time, always buy to sell higher. We don't have a lot of traders who short. Okay. So 50%. So it means that you only need 50% down. So if you want to buy this, say you would normally need 6,340 US to buy 100 shares, you'd only need half of that. Okay. So I'll
Okay.
make sure you understand. This is the requirement to buy 100 shares normally. Cool? 100 times this number.
Yes.
Got it?
Got
Okay.
it.
Half of this number, just so you know, I'm going to have to do this in my head. Hmm, that's my guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Half of this number is this. So this is a good deal, right? You could own twice as many shares as you normally would, right? So it's another reason if you're going to be using margin, it is mandatory unless you want to die. You have to you got to buy insurance. You can't borrow money and not have it guaranteed to be paid back. It's just thing can drop to $1 tomorrow. That's how I trade. I just assume everything can drop to $1. Okay, you just can't get any worse than that, so, unless it's zero, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So worst case, if this goes to $1, all you lose is your insurance money, right? $400. So that's the beauty of it. That is the beauty of it. Okay. So let's go forward from here. Where would the price target be? Well, typically price targets are at ceilings or resistance. Places where prices, when they go there, they don't like it and they come back down. For example, there's a ceiling here. I'm going to take some of this stuff off. There's a ceiling here because when these candles went up to this line at $61.22, it didn't go any higher. Okay, traders took profits, whatever you want to call it, sold it off. Don't care. Went up to here and then went back down. So here again, candles went up to here, come back down. Kind of like prices don't like this line here. Yesterday, prices kind of peaked above it. This candlestick here, the close, not the whole body, but the close was above it. Me personally, I like the whole body to be above the ceiling, above resistance, above where we sent down from the last time. So for me, this candle is more legit because this whole body, So remember the body is this part here. Kind of like a candle. I don't have a candle, but that's what candles look like.
Yes.
This body is over the ceiling. So when when something is a ceiling for you, let's say I'm the Incredible Hulk. So I look up and it's a big old concrete bunker above my head because they think they can keep me in here. But you know, an Incredible Hulk is incredible for a reason. So I jump up and I break through that ceiling and I can stand on it. So that ceiling becomes a floor, becomes support. That change in term is called polarity. And so this candle is the Hulk. Yeah, Hulk was here. He just had his head and half of his body underneath. This is his head, the upper torso. This is the lower torso. He's kind of trying to come out of the ceiling, right? But he's kind of stuck. He's not stuck today. He's not stuck pre-market. Got to respect that because when the Hulk looks up now, there is no ceiling, which means that the Hulk can go as high as he wants, wherever he wants. And that's why new highs have to be respected for possible trades. Got it?
Got it.
So there is no price. There's really no price target. If I had to guess, I'd say, okay, the last time this thing went up, it went up this much. The last time we had an uptrend, a significant uptrend, it went up this much. The Hulk, when he jumps up this much. So I'm thinking, maybe for sure he has this ability. You see, here he was stuck in a ceiling too. Back here. Every time he went to this line, came back down. But he broke the ceiling on this guy. A little circle here for you. This is where the Hulk, his whole body is above this little cage he was trapped in. That little cage is called a trading range. There's a defined ceiling and floor. It's also called a stage one or base. It's called a floor because when you go there, you go back up. It's called a ceiling because when you go here, you go back down. Kind of like how cages work. So the Hulk keeps bouncing around in here trying to get out. This is where he escapes. And you can see how far he moved upwards until he found another ceiling. So this here is called a measured move or price target or markup. So I'm thinking that's probably where the price target would be up here.
Interesting.
So it's got a ways to go. That's my guess. And that's called technical analysis. It's how we write exams as well. I'm not going to do the exam, just so you know. But we do have exams for technicians. Big old exam, big high failure rate. It's gonna hurt my ego if I fail, so I'm not gonna do it. So I already have girls hurting my ego, so I don't need to add to that. Okay, so not do that. Not do that exam. I'm just gonna make money. Okay, Vince.
Okay.
So this guy here. So this is about 73. So it's gonna be round numbers, by the way, are ceilings as well. So like 75, 70s, 65 are round numbers. So this looks like it's gonna be, I'm gonna say about $75 would be my target because there's a round number there. So maybe another $11 up. So that's the current trade that I'm considering right now for 9:30 in about 20 minutes.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is just how traders, well, I'm gonna say this is how traders in my mind, should do things, but traders come in different variations. So not everyone is comfortable, for example, trading Bitcoin. I'm comfortable trading anything and everything because I have insurance. It's not because I like Bitcoin. I don't like Bitcoin. It's kind of like tricks, digital money. But that's just me. Nobody cares about me. Apparently, you see these people here trading, I don't know, looks like 3.6 million shares pre-market. They don't care about my opinion or my bias. They're just making money. So if you want to be biased, because I do have people who are biased, they will not buy Bitcoin, they will not buy gold. I can't be like that because it costs money. It costs money in the sense that if you don't do the trade, you miss out on an opportunity. So for me, what's painful besides losing money is not making money that you should have been able to make, but because you're so biased and narrow-minded, you miss the trade, you miss the opportunity. And you see, I have no excuse because I have insurance. So this is the reason why trading fits my temperament because I don't need to explain Bitcoin. I don't need to love it. I don't need to like it. I don't need to agree with it. Just need to make money with it. That's it. That's what people want to do. Okay. That's all they want. They make money. We don't need to understand why, how, where, why. We don't need to love it. We don't need to believe in it. They just want to make money. And if it means buying something that they don't understand, they don't get it, they don't like it. I never agreed, for example, to have a Bitcoin account for grandma. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's impossible. However, I have to trade Bitcoin because it makes money. See? See this little trend here? It's a money-making trend. This little thing here. Average price rising. Now it's above average price. You okay with this, Vince?
I am. Yes.
All right, move on. So let's think of some of the other trades in this case going down because there's another trend that is new, and that's the bond market. It's the one we started with. And you can see this is a new low, lowest price in a year. So yields are going to be the highest in a year, and bonds are going to be the lowest. Okay. So without going into a bond market study, because I only got a few minutes here, I'm just going to say the way I would do this trade is a short. So I'm going to do that short right now because you need to get an idea how to trade both sides, both up and down.
Okay.
So shorting is we sell something, same 100 shares, and whatever we shorted it at, in this case 83.65, we have to buy calls. So notice with the shares of Bitcoin, I buy puts, right? Because it's a long position, but when you short a position, you can't buy puts as well. This is a different idea, different direction. It's calls. Okay. So 83 and 0.6. So I don't know, 83.50. Let's go to this one. Okay, same thing, 1 month. Okay, the reason why we buy calls is because we lose money when this thing goes up. We lose money when this thing goes up. Because shorting, the way it works is we have to borrow it, sell it, and then buy it back cheaper. You remember that class, Vince?
Um, we actually haven't done shorting yet.
Okay, we're going to do a little fast track shorting right now in the next 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, cool.
So let's say I have someone who has 100 of these bonds. These are bonds, it's just in stock form, okay? ETF form. It's 20-year bond. Okay, you see this? 20-year bond.
Yes.
When you buy this thing, it's like buying the 20-year bond. So you understand how ETFs work, right? When you buy an ETF, it's like buying that thing.
Yes, it's an idea.
When you buy IBIT, you're buying Bitcoin. Okay.
Okay,
When you buy USO, you're buying oil. When you buy GLD, you're buying gold. Kind of get a pattern here?
I do.
Okay. Because no one wants to buy physical gold. Where are you gonna put this? In your house? How about a barrel of oil? Let's put that by the I don't know, the doghouse. How are you going to keep Bitcoin? It's a digital asset. Your bonds are going to lock them up in a safe. Practically, realistically, this does not work. You understand why ETFs are created now?
I do.
Okay, because we physically, logically cannot have you buy that and make money from it unless you have a big warehouse. You're going to store all the barrels of oil in a really secure place like a vault. You secure all the billions of gold. And by the way, you're going to have to transport this stuff too, eh? None of the logistics are working.
Yeah.
None of the logistics. And then how are you going to I don't know if oil spoils after being exposed. I don't know what the parameters are to keep these things intact. Not you're gonna give it. People are gonna have a big headache trying to do these trades. Just saying. And as for Bitcoin, I don't know how you're gonna pay 111,000 for one coin because that's the price right now. See this number here?
Yep.
Bitcoin cost of one coin looks like $111,270. That's what I read, and that's US dollars. Bro, I can't even buy a share. Where are we going with this? I mean, I can't buy a coin, is what I should say. But I can buy a share of Bitcoin, right? And capture the same percent change move. Make sense?
Yes.
Kind of get why ETFs were created? So just so you know, there are 3,300 ETFs with 3,300 different ideas. So you can have like a wheat ETF, for example, a sugar ETF, corn ETF. Okay, so that's what ETFs are. They're created so you could invest in that idea and make money. For example, if you have a corn ETF and let's say the corn crops go up, I don't know, 5%. Farmers are selling their corn for 5% higher. Okay, this ETF would reflect that. Okay, suppose you're a corn farmer. Now I'm not a corn farmer, but clearly they're having some issues, right?
Yeah.
So this was nice, but Vince, man, you're not eating enough cornflakes, is my guess.
Yeah.
You gotta eat more cornflakes, brother.
Everyone's going
You,
keto.
you, you're killing the corn farmers,
Wow.
right? More cornflakes, okay? First shopping item on the weekend. Help the farmers out. So let's say I was a farmer. I can't sell my corn in my fields. It's traditional a long time in my generation. But I could short this guy, right? As an offset. Short means that I would borrow it, sell it, and make money. And I'm going to show you how that would be done. So we're going to use TLT. Actually, we'll use coin. So when corn was at $28, let's say $25, and I realize it's going down, I could borrow these shares, sell it, and then buy it back cheaper. So someone had corn when it was 25 bucks. Okay, I'll just call this guy Joe. Okay.
Okay.
So if Joe has that, okay, in his account, his Questrade account, I have the ability to ask Questrade if I could borrow it. Borrow now, not buy, okay? Trying to understand the difference borrow and buy. So let's say this is Vince. So Vince says, hey, Questrade, I want to short, I want to short corn at 25 bucks. Because I think it's going down. Because it was at 30 here, and I see the average price is going down, and now it's 25. That's in a downtrend, right? Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Okay. So short traders, we look for things going down. So if your peaks, these little peaks here, these are little peaks. If you keep getting lower and lower peaks and lower lows, we're thinking, well, that's a downtrend. If your average price, these yellow dots keep falling and your prices keep falling and below average price, that's what we define the downtrend to be. First class we do. How to define trends? What do you look at? What are you looking for? What do you expect to see? What's the pattern? So if you can't see things, you can't trade. It's not so much academically as it is visually. It's both, but you got to get the visual part first, or you're in trouble. And you can't tell me you can't see these yellow dots falling because I can't teach that. Okay, that's too hard for me. Just got to use your eyes. Okay, so you see average price is falling, right? So it's a short trade. So when you borrow these shares, Questrade says, you want to borrow shares to short? No problem. Oh, I found some. So Questrade will lend you these shares. Okay. Lend, okay. It's not yours. Lend means you have to give it back. So lend. That's the legality of lend. So Questrade puts a minus sign in your account with this position to remind you that it's a loan. It's not you didn't buy them, okay? So when you look in your account, you're gonna see a minus sign. The minus sign tells you that you borrowed the shares. You understand? You understand the difference between plus and minus?
Yes.
Plus means that you own it. Minus can't mean the same thing. That doesn't make any sense. Minus means that you borrowed it, okay? Or you sold it. And in this case, it's exactly what you did. You did both. You bought it and then you sold it. Yeah. Something that was lent to you, you sold it. So when you sell 100 shares of this at 25, because you bought it that's the price when you bought it, okay? How much would you get for it? You get 2,500 US dollars, right? Got it? Because
Yes.
you bought it here, right? 25 bucks. This line, this price.
Yes.
So if you sell something for 25 bucks and you have 100 shares, just so you know, you get 2,500 US. Okay? Easy math, nothing complicated. But you just sold something that doesn't belong to you, right? If I borrow 100 shares of corn from your account and I sell it, you're gonna eventually want it back. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't care because I'm thinking this corn is gonna fall because of the trend. Sure enough, today it's at 1871, right?
Yes.
So why don't I do this? Why don't I buy the shares 9:30 in the morning, like in around 5 minutes from now, and I would need 1871 US, right?
Yes.
Well, the difference is gonna be my profit
Gotcha.
because I'm gonna have 100 shares, which I'm gonna give back to Questrade, and Questrade's gonna give it back to where they bought it from. They didn't even tell this guy, by the way. Imagine that. Questrade is buying people's shares right now without telling them for short sellers like Vince, and that's legal. Gotta love the business.
Wow.
Are you aware of that? Are you aware that your shares can be lent out without you knowing for a short seller? Of course not. They didn't tell you, right? Because if they tell you, you're not gonna allow it. That's why. You're gonna get all upset and huffy puffy. When is this guy gonna bring my shares back? What do I get out of it? You understand why they don't tell you now?
Yeah, it must have been in that long document that I didn't read at the beginning.
Yep. Yeah, you really didn't let me know what happens. I read it very quickly though. I didn't read a document. I just go through it. I already know what these guys are doing, Vince. I don't need a lawyer to go through all that mumbo jumbo document. I know what they're doing. They're taking advantage of these people by lending out their shares. Yeah, that's what they did. You're taking advantage of that, I'm gonna say option, so you can make money, right? Because you'd have made I don't know, about $600, right?
Yes.
When you bought these shares back, you only needed this amount, right? Is that true?
Yeah.
Because the pricing is not the same today, right? From when you bought it, it was $25. Not $25 now, it's 18.70. I'll say it better. Your replacement cost, right? To replace the shares you borrowed, the ones you sold, the ones you need to pay back, the one you need to give back. Yeah, that thing. It only costs 1,870 US. You got it?
Okay.
You can't just sell something and return it. That's impossible. You're gonna go to jail. So when you board these shares, right, you got to return it. You understand?
I understand.
It's illegal to borrow people's things, sell it, and not return it. You cannot do that. Okay. So it has to be returned. It has to be replaced. So if you want to replace it today, right? So I'm going to replace it today. I'm going to replace it, right? So this 2,500 that I got when I sold it, right? It's still in the account, right?
Yes.
I didn't spend it. Okay. So I use this portion of it, buy the shares back. So the remaining cash is mine. That's the profit. Do you understand how you make money shorting now?
I do. Yes.
Okay, very simple. Borrow, sell, replace. 3 words. I'll put it down here for you.
I'll replace.
Borrow, sell. I'm going to say immediately. Okay, as soon as you borrow, you sell it. No delay. Not like sell it after a day or after an hour. It's not like that. As soon as you borrow it, it is sold. Sold to someone who wants it. These guys here, someone else who wants it. Public, other people who want corn. People like Joe who don't have the shares. Those guys. So you sell it to them. You understand?
I do.
Here, all right for you. Sell me to public. Is that better for you? Or sell immediately to public. Okay. So when you sell, what happens? You get cash, right? Anytime you sell anything, you get cash, right? That's how things work.
Yes.
You sell your dog, you get cash. If I sell my girlfriend, I get a big headache. That's all. No, I shouldn't say that. That sounds bad. Get cash, right? So now you have cash. So now later on, you have to do the last item. You got to replace. Easy, right? Replace, buy it back. Not sure what replace means. Buy it back. This is the last step. So you make money. But there's an important word here. If you want to make money, you got to buy it back cheaper, cheaper, lower. The reason why I use multiple words in teaching is because you need to get the idea from one of those words, one of those pictures. You got it, Vince?
Yes. Great lesson.
Thank you. I gotta go. Gotta do some trading, meet someone.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll hook up later on. I'll just let you know the time. Okay.
Yes. Just hit me up. Okay.
All right, man. Thanks. See you.
Okay. Bye-bye.